invito sul palco Matteo Arata, Retail Industry Lead di Accenture, e, spero di pronunciarlo giusto, Kaveh Vahabi, CEO di KIKO Milano. Benvenuti. Lo lascio a te, giusto?
I will switch to English, obviously.
My apologies.
First of all, thank you to Retail Institute for organizing this and for giving us the possibility to talk about something that I'm really proud to be able to take to you today. And also I'm feeling lucky because I've been hearing a lot of keywords about what we should be doing. And I'm happy to say that maybe today we are presenting together with Kaveh something that we should be doing more. So we are talking about KIKO. KIKO Milano is a great example of a company that has been starting from, let's say, a leadership area that is this cosmetic valley that we have in the northern part of Italy, taking this leadership in terms of products and being able to move it and giving an international perspective. Second, we were talking about Gen Z. Either store associate and customers of KIKO are typically Gen Z. And then we are talking about innovation. But here today, we don't want to talk or envision innovation. We are talking about innovation delivered. And it was not easy to decide to take again KIKO after last year, because last year I was hosting Simone Dominici, the CEO, envisioning the innovation, and we were at that moment with the pilot. But today I'm so happy to have really the man that was making this happening, that is Kaveh Vahabi, the CIO, and after 1 year we are talking about innovation realized. So thank you, Kaveh, for joining
Thank you, Matteo. Thank you for the kind introduction and the opportunity of sharing KIKO's story with such a distinguished audience. So thank you for the opportunity.
So I will take really 1 minute, not more, to a little bit to rehearse what were we talking about unified commerce in KIKO. So a short video will tell you that we are talking about really a contemporary customer experience in which the physical store is becoming a place of experience, but the purchasing moments can be really multiple, right? This can be online, can be in the store, in which the store associates are having creating a personal relationship and are really advisor to the customers, in which every contact with the product is a moment of experience. Now, how this is built? Basically, is built on 4 pillars. Is about customer engagement, so being able really to elevate the experience of the customer. Is about having a seamless execution at the store, even for the most complex scenarios, click and collect, ship from store. You know that those are quite complex and are perceived as a barrier as far as they are not fluent. And then we are talking about service ecosystem. We want to sell and to involve the customer in something that is solving a question of the customer, a need of the customer. So is it the product, is the service, is the knowledge, all combined. Now, why I'm proud and I'm feeling lucky? Because with the work of all the team, we achieved this in 1 year, over 850 stores, 13 countries. We had more than 38 million tickets processed, 6,000 beauty advisors trained, and more than plus 35% conversion increase. So that's something that is telling a little bit where. In the meantime, the company has been, let's say, positioned in the market, and while growing 15%, Percassi family was able to involve with an investor, and they sold, let's say, a majority stake of the company for a transaction that was more than 1 billion. So this is giving a little bit the perspective of the success that I think is fitting pretty much to all the discussion we were having. But now, Kaveh, so I want really to understand how do you make this happening, because let's say making this big transformation in the same year in which you were asked to grow 15% is quite challenging, right? How you made this?
Look, I think in any change program, any transformation, the catalyst has to be a imperative, a compelling reason for change. For us in KIKO, that catalyst was a realization that our legacy platforms were limiting, were incapable of supporting really the ambitions of the business, the growth strategy. So in any company, in my experience, there has to be that compelling reason to change. Then some of the key factors is ensuring that you maintain the focus on the existing, keeping the business actually running, and taking on transformation with really a different set of skills, creating a team of partners, which really started, as you know, with yourselves as the primary partner, Accenture. We were lucky that actually Accenture had been with KIKO for many years. So you knew KIKO, you knew the landscape, but then we were faced with certain options. One of the options is to look at your legacy landscape and do incremental updates versus perhaps taking a far more radical approach to transformation, which is really the approach we took. The approach was to select partners, platforms and capabilities which were ahead of the curve. So these were some of the contributing factors, and then creating that team with the right governance, with the right vision, were really the platform which brought about this change.
And this is talking about the approach, but then we need to talk about people, culture. So you entered with a long experience in big multinational companies. You were CIO of big teams, and you enter in a mid-sized Italian company. How you made this magic, right? Because you put, let's say, the structure, the methodology, the confidence of doing something, but you also leverage the energy of this mid-sized company. So how you made this?
Look, I think actually being a mid-sized company is perhaps a positive. A positive in the sense that large organizations have their own covenants, and they have perhaps a cadence which is much more difficult to change. Then in terms of culture, I think culture, it's important to recognize culture, but I think culture is subtle. In my past, I've had the opportunity, the pleasure of working in the UK, in France, here in Italy, Netherlands, many other places. Culture is real, but then within a country's culture, you have organizational culture, which is another layer on top, and you have individuals. For me, one thing that's been universal, frankly, has been some traits which are constant and universal. Professionalism, high caliber, quality people, and bringing together, again, a team which, and it's important to mention that actually the Unified Commerce Program, which is what we labeled it within KIKO, actually consisted of a revitalized internal IT team, predominantly Italian, but then we had New Black from the Netherlands, we had iPort, Streamline from the US, so it really was a multicultural, multinational team.
So this seems really, let's say, the capability to lead this transformation with this was really, let's say, showing your caliber and let's say your experience.
The caliber of the team. Huh?
Yes, the caliber of the team. And but then so KIKO was entering in this interesting phase while doing all this stuff of being evaluated for an acquisition. And this is meaning due diligence, analysis, how this transformation was perceived, because it was kind of an ambitional move with, let's say, a lot of effort, a certain level of risk. How this was perceived? Because I think the audience will have to take these decisions in the future. So knowing also how the market is perceiving this kind of bold moves.
But the perceived by the investor?
Yes.
Or, look, I don't want to talk on behalf of Katitin, who were the investors. What I know is that what makes KIKO, or what made KIKO attractive to the investor, is the fact that KIKO makes outstanding products, cosmetic products, which are marketed well and sold across its 66 markets and with great customer experience. One thing that I can say is in any due diligence, it's much easier to talk about the realization of such a transformation program with a IT landscape and capabilities that are cutting edge, that are new, that is up to date, versus telling a story in that due diligence period of legacy systems with vulnerabilities, which in most cases in due diligence periods are a red flag for any investor.
Okay, I think this should be interesting for reflection. And then now we are quiet, right? Nothing next. We have done a tick. What's next in front of KIKO?
Look, I think for KIKO, what's next is the realization that we should never stand still. For us, transformation is not done. Transformation in KIKO, just to give some background, the Unified Commerce Program consisted of 30-odd, more than 30 sub-projects, of which some elements are completed. There's a finite start and end date of certain aspects of projects. Transformation for us in KIKO will continue. We will not stand still. Standing still, to use an American slang expression, if you snooze, you lose. We will continue with the partners that we have, yourselves, with the retail run on iOS partners, to continually innovate, look for improvements. And our focus now is to really get the greatest return from some of the transformation that we've made, from a business perspective, and to work with the new owners, Katitin, in even accelerating the growth strategy for KIKO.
Thank you, Kaveh. So I think it's good to have Kaveh here, part of this event. He will be at dinner and tomorrow. So I really urge you to reach him and let's say get also one-to-one and some live discussion on how this was made and how this can be applied to other companies.
With pleasure. With pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you, Matteo.
Thank you very much.